Hey friends, welcome back to the Road to Growing Up, a place where we sit down together and talk honestly about life, about choices, about growing up without a perfect roadmap. Today, I want to dive into a topic that can feel both exciting and terrifying at the same time: taking a gap year. What is a gap year, really? In the simplest terms, a gap year is a break, usually a year, that you take after finishing high school, or sometimes after college, before moving on to your next step. During this time, some people choose to work, travel, volunteer, learn new skills, or simply take a pause to breathe and reflect. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing something different. Now, that might sound adventurous, or even privileged. You might picture someone backpacking across Europe, doing yoga in Bali, or working at Ngo in Africa. But the truth is, a gap year doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can be as simple as staying in your hometown, getting a part-time job, learning how to cook, or just spending time figuring out what you really want from life. So here's the big question: is taking a gap year useful, or is it just an excuse to delay responsibility? That's what I want to talk about today, not just the practical side of a gap year, but also the emotional side, the fear of falling behind, the pressure to keep moving, and the courage it takes to stop. Is it growth, or is it avoidance? In many cultures, especially in places like the US, the UK, or across Europe, a gap year is quite normal. Some schools even encourage it. Many universities say students who take a year off to explore, work, or travel come back more focused, more mature, and more motivated to study. But in other cultures, especially in many Asian countries, taking a year off is still seen as strange, even lazy or irresponsible. There's this strong pressure to follow the standard path: finish high school, go straight to college, get a job, build a career, settle down. There's nothing wrong with that path. It's stable, it's structured. But here's the thing: when we follow it blindly, without stopping to ask ourselves whether it fits us, we risk losing touch with who we are. Sometimes, taking a gap year is not about running away. It's about choosing to pause, to reset, to listen to your own voice instead of all the noise around you. The fear of falling behind. Let's be honest, one of the scariest parts about taking a gap year isn't what you'll do during that year, it's what your friends will be doing while you're not. They'll be starting college, posting pictures from campus, getting internships, sharing their achievements online. And you might be working at a cafe, or trying to figure things out while everyone else seems to be moving forward. It's easy to feel like you're being left behind. But here's what I've learned: everyone has their own clock. Just because someone is ahead on one path, doesn't mean they're ahead in life. Some people graduate early, get jobs fast, but realize later that they're not happy. Others take the long road, and find something that truly fits them. There's no deadline for self-discovery. What can a gap year actually give you? Let me tell you a personal story. I took a gap year after school. I didn't travel the world. I didn't study at an expensive course. I stayed home, worked part-time, read a lot, and spent time getting to know myself, something I'd never really done before. That year, I learned how to cook my own meals. I learned how to fail interviews. I learned how to be alone without feeling lonely. I learned how to ask myself tough questions, like, what do I actually enjoy? What am I good at? Where do I want to go? And slowly, I found some answers. That year didn't give me a diploma. It didn't come with a certificate. But it gave me something better: clarity. Some people use their gap year to save money, or to heal after burnout. Others volunteer, take art classes, or explore new hobbies. Some just rest, especially if they've been pushing themselves for too long. The point isn't what you do, it's that you choose intentionally, and give yourself permission to slow down. But let's be real, it's not always easy. Gap years sound great in theory, but in reality, they can be challenging. You might feel lost, you might doubt yourself, you might compare your journey with others, and feel like you're falling behind. That's why you need a plan. Not a rigid schedule, but a simple roadmap. Ask yourself, what do I want to explore this year? What skills would I love to learn? What kind of person do I want to become? And then set small milestones. Maybe in the first 3 months, you'll work and save up. By month 6, you try something creative. By month 9, reflect and write down what you've discovered. By month 12, decide your next step. Study, work, travel. A gap year without intention can feel like drifting, but a gap year with purpose, that's powerful. A few tips if you're considering a gap year. 1. Talk to your family. Your parents might worry, especially if they didn't grow up with the concept of a gap year. They might think you're giving up. Try to explain your reasons clearly. Show them you have a plan. Share what you hope to gain, emotionally, mentally, and practically. Be honest. 2. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone's journey is different. Some people thrive in structure, others bloom in exploration. Some find their passion at 18, others at 35. Life isn't a race, and success isn't linear. 3. Document your journey. Journal your thoughts. Take photos. Record voice memos. Your gap year is part of your story. One day, you'll look back and see how much you grew in ways you didn't expect. Final thoughts. Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is pause, to stop rushing, to say, I don't know what's next, but I want to figure it out, on my terms. To step away from the noise, and listen to ourselves. A gap year is not for everyone, and that's okay. But if you feel tired, confused, burned out, or simply unsure, maybe that's your heart telling you, it's okay to take a break. You're not broken, you're just in between chapters. And maybe, just maybe, this gap year is where the real story begins. Thank you so much for staying with me through this episode on the road to growing up. If you've taken a gap year, or are thinking about one, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. You're not alone. Until next time, take care, and trust your own timing.